Kelly Stamp. Okay, so basically, Kelly Stamp is a YouTuber who I'd say over the last 3 years, she kind of got a lot of traction during the whole pandemic when it first started, and I think she hit her peak like about a year ago. I'm not quite sure how long she was on YouTube. She might have been on YouTube for maybe like a couple years before that. But she essentially had a meteoric rise during the last 2 to 3, I'd say like 3 years. During the last 3 years, she had a meteoric rise. Now, I caught on to her. You know what? I was just surfing on YouTube, and one of her videos popped up, and I watched it. I'm pretty sure I watched it because she's very pretty. All right. I'm sure there's a thumbnail of her in the video, and I was like, all right, no, she's a pretty girl. Let's see what she's about. And I watched her. She has a very quirky pretty girl next door feel to her. And there's a part of me wants to say that she's like a kind of like a farmer's daughter kind of thing, where she's pretty and she has like a really quirky based feel to her. And I watched her. She was in New York at the time. She goes through these situations on a daily, she goes through these situations that she's encountered in New York. And she has an it quality that you can't pinpoint. It's very difficult to manufacture a quality like hers because she has a very personable personality, it's a thing that you can't pinpoint. But she has that kind of personality where she's very likable. You want to watch her. I've viewed her videos, and I found myself viewing her videos for a good portion of her videos. Most of the time people view videos, it's like they view videos for like maybe a minute, 30 seconds, somewhere around there, and then they skip to the next video. But whatever it is that she does, she has an honest, down-to-earth, quirky thing that she does with whatever scenarios that she's putting out there in the videos that makes her very likable. And that was when she was starting out, and she didn't have a lot of money. She didn't have a lot of AdSense money, etc., etc. But I found that, I found that since then, like most recently, I'm gonna say that she's lost a little bit of her appeal. She's lost a little bit of her appeal. I'm not quite sure why that is, but it's probably not because of her, because if you guys seen any of these channels where even if they have like an it appeal to them, that appeal that's just very watchable, even then a lot of these channels hit their peaks and then they just go downhill from there, or maybe they just plateau. With her, she has a lot of sex appeal, all right? And if she wanted to just hype up her channel some more, she would probably do some bikini hauls and stuff like that, put a butt picture in her thumbnails, and her channel probably back to where it was before. Now, here's the thing about her, all right? Part of the appeal that I have of her was because she was her own person. Like when she started out, you always felt that she was her own person. She didn't sway towards this kind of politics or that kind of politics or whatever. But she kind of lost me a lot actually, when she did the whole BLM shift, when the whole riots were happening. She kind of lost me a bit when she did that, because I'm not for the whole BLM thing. I'm not for, because it's the whole BLM thing to me, and I don't want to get off track. It's just social terrorism. It's just social thuggery for a certain group to get what they want. But not to go off track, she went towards that direction, and I guess it's really hard to blame her for doing that as a black woman, because if she didn't actually do that, a lot of black people would label her as a sellout. So I kind of dropped watching her channel when she went towards that direction. I kind of picked it up maybe like a couple months ago. Started watching her channel again, and her channel got really, really big. Maybe like 7-8 months ago was when it peaked, and since then it's kind of dropped off a bit. But here's the thing about that. During that whole pandemic, people were staying at home. People were watching all kinds of stuff on YouTube. She built up a lot of her viewership through people having nothing else better to do. They weren't going to work. They were living on unemployment, etc., etc. And her viewership kind of blew up because of that. But since the pandemic kind of subsided, a lot of people got back to work. They're doing outside things. They're not watching her on YouTube as much, and her viewership it's kind of gone downhill quite a bit. She's averaging around the 66,000s, 50,000s, 40,000s, even the 30,000s. But you know, I'm happy she's found a viewer base. She's found some she's found some fame, a lot of fame on YouTube. But here's the thing, I'm wondering why she isn't like a Victoria's Secrets model. I'm wondering why she's not a model, because she's actually really, really good looking enough to where she could actually be walking on the runway at some Victoria's Secret pageant show. Is it a pageant show? Runway show. Anyway, I'm also surprised that she's getting the kind of sponsorship that she's getting. And we're not talking about like NordVPN, any of that crappy sponsorship. She's getting sponsorships from A, Amazon, B, Google Maps, I think. One of them was Kohl's. She's getting like these huge blue chip type sponsorships. And there's a part of me that's trying to figure out whether that's real or not. I mean, a lot of people can say, well, I'm sponsored by this sponsor or that sponsor. I'm like trying to figure out whether that's real or not. But regardless, don't know if that's a word or not, but regardless of that, it's great if she's doing it. It's great, because I don't know how they actually, I don't know how that kind of sponsorship money actually works with the YouTube space, whether you gotta get a certain amount of views and then you get that, or you get the money up front regardless, because they think of her as a really nice, clean brand. But lastly, I just want to talk about how much she makes off of YouTube. I'm pretty sure she did a video one time about like months ago, where she actually went through how much she made for like 2021, and it was like, she said it was 400,000 or something to that, and she's making like $40,000 a month or something like that. I don't think she's doing that kind of money at this point. I don't know. I mean, more power to her if she's making that kind of money at this point. That's a lot. Like 400,000, 40,000 a month, that's a lot. And I'm sure she's getting a lot of hate and jealousy because of it. I've seen a lot of videos from other people who just pretty much feel like
forget about hot girl summer.
She's making a lot of money. that's that. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of jealousy videos, hate videos from a lot of people who say that they don't like her as much because of that video. So that's a lot of money. Okay, YouTube Social Blade does not say that she makes as much money as she does. YouTube Social Blades that says that she might make around, I mean, at this point, I don't know what Social Blade, what the stats were for Social Blade maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. But at this point, she's doing the 30s. She's on the 30s as far as how much she's making for a channel. And that could be a little bit more, a little bit less. But it'd be nice if she put out a video of how much she made for this year, just compared to what she made for like last year. But regardless of that, I've seen her recent videos. She says she wants to conquer the world. She wants to conquer the media space, etc., etc. Which, looking at her, she probably could go pretty far with what she wants to do. But she has to put out more videos. She's not putting out a lot of videos. She's putting maybe like, and then she's putting the videos out sporadically. She's putting her videos out sporadically, so she's not putting out a lot of videos. But as I don't know if I should say as a caveat to that, regardless of how big you can get as a YouTuber, Glozell Green is one of those YouTubers who just blew up. She was I would say OG YouTuber, but back in the day she was like huge, a huge YouTuber. And as fast as you rise, it could also be as fast as you fall, because I go back and just out of curiosity, every now and then I go back and watch channels of old YouTubers that were big, or that I used to watch or I knew about. And even if they have the subscriber base that they kind of still had previously, I think Glozell Green might have subscribers in the hundreds of thousands still, and she's making maybe like $6,000 a year or something like that, which is pretty sad, because she's a very talented person with another YouTuber with a very likable personality and an it factor that you can't put your finger on, and then you can't manufacture. But we'll go into another video with her. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do another video with my reaction about Glozell Green. But I just want to finish this video with Kelly Stamps. She's very pretty. She has a very hot. She's a hot chick. She's very pretty, but she still also has a very quirky, down to earth personality. And I'm making this video because I'm thinking I hope the best for her, but it just seems like she's going towards another direction where it's not just about her and the space that she's in. It seems like she's going towards another direction where she's I wouldn't say more fake, but it's less authentic of a thing than she was. But even as a YouTuber, when you're trying to grow who you are as a channel, as a personality, it's very hard to figure out and to maintain whatever it is that you had that brought you there in the first place. And I hope she finds it or recaptures it or whatever, because it seems like whatever is there is kind of gone a little bit. Whatever that means to her or anybody who's watching this, but whatever it is, good luck to her. You don't know who she is, you can check out her channel. I watch it, every once in a while. A, because she's pretty. B, because she's quirky and kind of down to earth and funny, but not as much as she was before. I don't know what that means, but anyway,